it's Chris from Diary of a Lincoln Geek. We are here live again at the UK Games Expo 2021. It's been an absolute blast here on day 3. We've done lots of lives already again this morning. If you are watching now, we are here with Dan and Sarah from Strata Miniatures. And we're going to be talking about some of the, what they're here doing and talking about some of their new miniatures and the range and the game that they've got in place at this moment in time. So before we go any further, this is Dan.
Hi,
Dan,
nice to see you all.
Dan, can you tell us a little bit about what Strata do?
So Strata, initially, we started off as 3D design, printing and prototyping. So we basically help people with their Kickstarters. For instance, if you made a Kickstarter and you needed models for your board game or whatever you're creating, you would contact someone like ourselves. We would 3D print, we'd talk to sculptors and artists on your behalf, and then from there work closely to get what you want, to hopefully get that Kickstarter backed and up and running. From there we have lots of different things. We can blow models up to a lovely size like that. That way you can see if there's going to be any casting defaults. As for this one, you can actually see that the wheels wouldn't have connected. If we hadn't have done that, you would have made a model and it wouldn't have gone together. So that's what we do basically. We help people with that side of things. Fantastic. If they don't know about it.
That's really good. And how long have you guys been doing that now?
So it's really kicked off and we've managed to get behind it more because unfortunately, COVID, as you can see.
Yeah.
So it gave us plenty of time working from home to do that, more connections, and that's how it got really kicked off.
Yeah. Obviously, COVID has been, a negative for a lot of people, but a lot of people can also, take positives from it as well. Is that the kind of positive that you guys have taken?
Yeah, exactly. It's given us enough spare time from also, you can work from home, get some stuff done quickly, and then jump on the printer, print something off, So we've got a range of printers from basics, like that's a £200 printer.
Yeah.
We've got another printer a step up, a couple of £100 extra. It just gives you that extra bit of detail each step for doing different things.
I mean, that's not,
it's still not bad.
That's
exactly.
Still not a bad printer.
Something you could pick up yourself.
Yeah.
For £200. We'll give you something to that detail. You can make it smaller, bigger, as long as you've got, because how the printers work, you actually have like 2 beds. Bottom bed is like the screen of your phone.
Yep.
It shoots light up through the resin, and then the other bed just simply comes down, picks up whatever resin has been allowed through, and then just keeps going up and down, until eventually it prints off. And so it actually prints it upside down. So it emerges out, and then we use a program. So that would be the model. It looks like Spider-Man's here. Is the best way to describe it. It's all got these little webs and shoots because it won't just suddenly be able to put resin out on what we call an island.
Yeah.
So in order to get different shapes, otherwise you'd only be able to print like solid cubes.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want.
It's a framework, isn't it? It's a support framework to make more elaborate shapes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because obviously there are different types of printers and different printing. You have your standard PLA, layer printer, and these obviously your resin types of printers.
Be a little bit harder to see, but that's one of the higher detail ones. So what we find is when we got to the point where we're going to create something, we'll use the more expensive printer. One, we know it's going to work because we've already tested it a few times in a cheaper situation.
Yeah.
So it costs you less, and then we'll get this high detail, and then hopefully, the more detail you can get into it, when you then send it to make the cast, you'll lose a little bit here and there, but hopefully then the majority will get through, so that your final product comes out as well as what we've got here today.
Fantastic. Talk to us about what we've got here, because these are what I would call and describe as accessible models. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that how you describe it?
More accessible and inclusive. Everyone loves the game. Doesn't matter who you are, what you do. You just want to enjoy a game, and that's what we want to help people to do. We love gaming ourselves. My boss, I'm doing this on his behalf. We met through gaming. Been friends for like 16 years now. And he's slightly older than me. He won't like me for saying that, but it's just that enthusiasm. Is the best way to describe it. He's helped me to paint. He's helped me with sculpting little bits and pieces to make the model what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And so and then models wise, what we've got here today, if you want to take a quick pan. So So all these miniatures were created from a rule set for making a combat wheelchair in D&D. We have our first wave over here, some of which have been featured in other YouTubers. It's Dagon, and then we've also had contact as we've got bigger and made more models from Team GB to make sure that the models are represented correctly.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to, do it wrong.
No.
And we want to make it accessible as well for people. If you're seeing them now and think, oh, well, I just want to paint that, that's why we've got as well as we can.
No, that's fantastic. And so a question for Sarah, am I right?
Yeah.
This was your brainchild, was it? Is this your rules?
Yeah.
Is that
Sarah
right?
Rules.
So,
Yeah, I'll pass you over to Sarah.
So last year I released the combat wheelchair version 1.1 or something like that. About a couple days afterwards, when I released it, Strata Miniatures were like, "Oh, we'd love to make miniatures of it. Will you let us?" And so I started working with them and talking with them, how things would look, making sure that the poses of the chairs themselves were really dynamic, because obviously able-bodied characters get really dynamic poses. Therefore, disabled characters should as well, because we're all about everyone being a hero and getting to see themselves in a positive light.
yeah.
Which in TTRPG in the past has had a great track record with disability and how it's presented. It took me a year to make it, and it's still going through updates. There's going to be an update this month, August, which includes a lot more stuff. But yeah, like you said, it really is like my child, and I keep returning back to it.
Exactly. And when it is a product, and an idea of your own, it is something to be proud of. If people are interested in this and they want to check this out, how can they find out about this? Is it from Strata Miniatures, or is there a separate site for the rules?
Okay, so you can get the rules as is from my Twitter, which is Mustang's Art. At the very top, a pinned tweet is the combat wheelchair. Or whenever you buy a miniature from Strata, you get a free link to download the rules, the most recent rules from them.
Fantastic. And is it fully compatible from which level of D&D, or will it work with any edition?
It works with 5th edition D&D from characters that are level 0 onwards.
Fantastic.
You can use it in your games pretty much from the get-go.
Fantastic. And I mean, some of these models are absolutely stunning. Do you have a particular favourite?
I do. I have the Druid, is one of my favourites.
This one here? Yeah.
And also the Monk over there too. The Druid for the detail and the Monk for just the dynamic and the posing is just incredible.
I will say that the poses are awesome. They are dynamic, and I totally see it. And the inspiration behind it is wonderful. I think my favourite here is probably got to be this. I think it's a barbarian or a warrior.
A dwarf barbarian.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic.
That model has actually appeared, not that one specifically, but the model type has appeared on Critical Role for Dagon Underthorn. Matt Mercer painted one and showed it online, and yeah, it was amazing to see.
Wow, it must have made you feel amazing to see that.
It was kind of bizarre because Matt Mercer used my rule set for something, which is just incredible. Considering it's just a homebrew, and Matt Mercer is Matt Mercer, so it was very surreal, very cool. And did a lot for supporting the chair.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. And of course, anything kind of new and different, we love. We latch on to these things, and we're slowly gathering a little bit of a following regarding tabletop role play groups, particularly on Twitter. The community on Twitter is so incredibly inclusive and supportive. It's incredible. That's what gaming is all about. It takes all forms of interest and people, and to see this is absolutely inspirational. So thank you very much, and congratulations on the game, on the adaptation, and of course Strata for the miniatures.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a real labour of love and absolute passion project. So yeah, it's great to see people enjoying it, and great to see people coming here, whether they see it for the first time or have seen it online and get to see it in person, and then seeing their reactions to it. It's great.
Yeah, it is great. And Strata Miniatures have ever been so kind to actually provide us with a sample miniature. So we are going to be hopefully be teaming up with Gremlin Models to have that painted and reviewed in the next couple of weeks, all being well and good. In the meantime, I want to say a massive thank you to Dan and Sarah here at Strata Miniatures. If there's anyone got any questions, please feel free to post them if you're rewatching, because I'm sure we've tagged them on it, and I'm sure the guys will happily answer any questions that you pop up at a later date. All I'm going to say to you is, I've heard some amazing things are happening with D&D at this moment in time. There is a potential, I don't know whether I can say it or not, and I might get in trouble, that the D&D show that's going to be potentially brought up by the BBC. If they're using miniatures to represent on the show, I would love to see some of your miniatures on that show, because they are stunning. And keep up the great work, guys. I will end on, you've obviously already told us some of your favourite models, but Dan, what are some of your favourite models?
So I played a very short shot D&D group, and I was a paladin, so I just got to stick with paladin really. He is the guy. Again, Team GB inspired as well. It's based off of a basketball wheelchair.
Nice.
So he can take the hits when he's tanking along.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, that's the guy.
They're wonderful, and like I said, go for it. Yeah.
And that's our lovely little con exclusive. We actually held a competition for people to write a story about a character, and it was just a great story. It was phenomenal what they wrote. So we created a model based off of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've got a quick follow-up question, because believe it or not, I actually have a degree in animation and graphics, and this was about 15 years ago, so I'm showing my age now. I am rusty as hell. So if someone's wanting to get back into doing 3D sculpting, do you have any recommendations or tips for anyone out there that's interested in doing this kind of work and getting back into it, or getting into it? What's your biggest tips?
So there are obviously different programs for doing 3D sculpting. One we find best is ZBrush. So if that's what you're looking for, I'd probably say more ZBrush lines. And again, printing wise, start off with, like I said, the £200 printer. You can still make a really, really stunning model out of that.
Yeah.
And then, if needs be, if you want to get more detail, then look from there.
And that's a starting resin printer.
Yes. Yeah.
That's incredible. The 3D printing market is growing and becoming ever so popular. Yeah. And you're seeing printing farm businesses, popping up all over the place. But you don't actually realise just how easy it is to get into the 3D printing hobby. There are people out there that offer, SDL files, which is obviously the 3D print file that you can download for free, and you can actually print out your own models, your own sculptures, and then obviously you can have fun painting.
Those files alone, you can change the sizes
on
your printer.
Exactly, so you can scale them up, can't you? Yes.
Or scale them down. So I actually spoke to a couple of guys earlier. They're having trouble finding a D&D Minotaur as a player character, because it still needs to be on roughly the same base as your normal character. So if you can find an STL file of that, you can then scale it down. So then you can get your character.
Fantastic. It's a brilliant idea. And obviously, these are probably questions, that, designers out there or people who 3D print know already. But if you are interested in doing those kind of things and you want to kind of get inspiration, do obviously check out Strata Miniatures, because they have got some fantastic stuff. I had a look on the website. There's lots of interesting things and tidbits on there as well. All these models are on there as well, is that right?
We only have the STL file of her, because obviously she's the exclusive.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, but from an STL perspective. But, if people want to buy the models, they can buy it from your site, is that right? Are there any traders out there that are selling them on your behalf?
There are a few traders. I have to refer to my boss, who's just turned up. Who's the traders we've got at the moment?
If you go on the site, we've got
Lee, by the way.
Hi there, this is Lee.
Yeah, so we've got lots of shops that stock our miniatures. A lot in the States, there's a handful in the UK, a few in Europe, so obviously with some of the Brexit stuff and the charges going up at the moment, we've got shops where you can't get stuff without getting custom charges and all the rest of it. So on the site, there's a little stockist tab. Click on there, and it's the links to all of our stockists.
Fantastic. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to all three of you. So I know it's probably a little bit late for people to come down to Games Expo now because it is halfway through the day. There are still plenty of people milling around, shopping and spending, and basically having a great time. Exactly. The overall feeling at the event is that people feel safe and are feeling being able to be involved and enjoying this incredible event. Okay. If you have never been to a Games Expo and you are watching any of these videos that we've been doing over the weekend, then please do remember that we are all staying safe. Everyone attending this event have been double jabbed, and we are all using the NHS app to basically prove that we are safe and we have been COVID free. Okay? Everyone is wearing masks, as you can see, and basically, we're all just having fun, and that's what it's all about. And we're actually able to be together, playing games and finding out new things. We wouldn't be here, chatting to Strata if they hadn't have invited us to come and have a chat with them, because it's a great product and a brilliant idea, and it's about inclusion. So remember, guys, if you are watching this on your social media channel and you aren't a subscriber, please do check out the website, subscribe, follow, and you'll be able to see some of the other videos that we produced over the weekend. Remember, we're on all three platforms, as well as our website, which of course is Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And of course, that all-important website, which is diaryofalinkinggeek.com or DOALG.co.uk. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to everyone online and presenting the expo. We've got a couple more left for the end of for the rest of the day. But in the meantime, thank you very much. Take care and keep gaming.